When I was a kid, my biggest problem was that no one would teach me to hotwire a car. You see, I knew I was destined to be a badass, and I knew that I needed to start getting trained right now. Well, as it turned out, my life was a lot more about bus duty than it was about escaping from the cops on the back of a stolen Harley. And I have to admit, I felt like I'd sold out. And then I looked around one day and I realized something. Some of the most badass people I know, teachers. They are tough and crazy and tenacious and a little bit terrifying. They can MacGyver their way out of all kinds of sticky situations over and over and over again. And man, has there ever been a time where we had a lot of sticky situations. It is not easy to be a teacher right now. Nobody could blame us if we decided to chuck it all and go sell shoes or grow organic vegetables or something. So those of us who stick it out, we gotta reclaim our inner badass. We gotta hold on tight, which raises some questions. Is badass binary? Is it something that you can learn, or are you just born that way? Now, I'm an academic, so I went to the research first, and what I learned is that there's not a lot there. So I talked to people, and I discovered that badass teachers know who they are when they are not being teachers. They have strong lives outside of the classroom, and they guard them. They know that there are things that feed you and things that feed on you, and you gotta keep those two things separate if you're going to avoid being overwhelmed and exhausted all the time. You gotta take care of yourself if you're gonna take care of the people around you. They are connected, personally, professionally, online, face-to-face. They know you have to have a community if you're gonna do this and do it well. They don't put people in boxes. They don't draw false divisions. They stay open to all kinds of people because you never know where the next good idea is going to come from. You never know who is the person who's going to be able to provide political cover when you need it most. So they know we're herd animals. We do better when we're together. They are also masters of the craft of teaching. They know what they're about in the classroom. So they're not threatened by people who do things differently, people who think differently. In fact, they're actively curious. They want to know why people think differently. So they're always researching and taking classes and going to conferences and reading. They love to talk about pedagogy. They are always open. You know, what's going to be the next thing? What is still out there for me to learn? They also know that you got to have a creative outlet, right? You've got to be open. So they read and they knit and they code and they build and they draw and they dance and they love fiction and they love films, and they're always open to these crazy connections. You know, how am I going to know more about teaching and learning because of what I saw on The Walking Dead last weekend? They're always open. You just never know what's going to come next. They are also very familiar with being afraid, but they know that being afraid isn't the worst thing. You got to keep taking the risks because these kids, this education thing, these people who've trusted us with the hearts and minds of the people they love most, it's too important not to. And there are worse things in the world than getting fired, especially if you do it for the right reasons. The last thing, these folks have a wicked sense of humor. They know that you often have to make a choice between laughter and despair, and the former is infinitely more powerful than the latter. So they stay open to the joke in any moment, but they know the difference between badass and jackass. They do not make other people the brunt of their jokes. So my conclusion, these are all things that you can learn. Badass is not binary. We can all become it. It's just a matter of making choices. Choices to stay open, to be authentic, to take risks, to be creative, to no longer live in fear. So, to paraphrase my favorite badass vampire slayer, it's about you. It's about making a choice. Are you ready to stand up? Are you ready to be strong? Thank you.